Part of the agenda, 8.1, board members' reports, and I'm going to begin to my left with Mrs. Beecham.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight. It's nice to see caring people that are showing up, and thank you to our student reps, Julia, Manal, Holland, and Cedric, for your outstanding school news. School safety is a paramount concern, and it is a complicated situation, and it really should not be. Every one of us shares your concerns and are working to find a solution. As parents, family members, and citizens, you need to know that there are 2 Maryland legislative acts that limit what the school, what law enforcement, and what the state's attorney can do in regard to school violence. Those 2 acts are the Child Interrogation Protection Act and the Juvenile Restoration Act. As concerned citizens, please contact your legislator in regard to these laws. These laws have a huge effect on discipline and school safety. Your action can help the board, it can help school leadership, it can and law enforcement make the changes needed towards safer schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Plotz.
So as a parent of children who attend Bennett Middle, I share the collective concern expressed by parents, staff, and the community members. Acts of violence within our schools are distressing and contradict the very essence of what we strive to provide, a safe and secure learning environment for every student. I echo exactly what Ms. Beecham just said. Thank you.
Dr. Ennis. Thank you, Mr. Plotz.
I want to first thank everyone who came out this evening to share your concerns about our schools. And instead of reading my prepared remarks, I'm going to read to you a summary of an email that I received from some of my colleagues, as a former teacher. They are currently teaching at Bennett Middle. I reached out to them and I said, what would you like me to say to the people who are here this evening? And this is a collective conversation that they sent to me. I have no idea how many teachers had input into this, but I will share with you that these were teachers from Bennett Middle. Every school has a few disruptive students that seem to always be in trouble or cause havoc. Modifications to our code of conduct this year have helped hold students accountable. It still needs work, as they are not learning about boundaries and consequences in the community. We're also dealing with students with severe mental health issues. And occasionally, those students' outbursts are surprising to many of us. The staff members here are reeling in shock about the recent events, and we are trying to help affected students heal while processing our own feelings. Personally, we would not want to work at any other school. We love our students, and we feel as safe as any teacher can feel these days. It hurts to see so many people saying such negative things about our school. They have no idea what it's really like in my school or how wonderful 99% of our students are. From the teachers at Bennett Middle. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ennis. Mr. Palmer.
These coming years over, there's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars going to the Purple Line on the Western Shore in Baltimore to get people from one side of Baltimore to the other and to some other places over there. So far, I don't know of any money funded to give the schools on the Eastern Shore a place to send these students who are disruptive and who need special care. We simply have no place to put them. You have to accept them. It's the law. We may not want them in here, but we are bound by law to put them in here. Okay, I see some people shaking heads, and that's okay, and we can discuss this later. But what's going to happen is in January, when the session starts, our delegations are going to be bringing this up in Annapolis. And they are going to ask us and parents for what we need. They know what we need. We have been in direct contact with them quite a few number of times. But they need to hear from you. And I don't mean just one or two of you. You need to get on the phones and call by the hundreds up to the legislators and let them know what you want. This will give a lot of oomph to what we say when we talk to them. When they hear from enough of you, that is when they're going to act. When that time comes, we're keeping in contact with them. When that time comes, I'm going to let you know, and I will give you the phone numbers. You want them, have to look them up. I will give you the phone numbers so that you can call and let them know what you also want. And I really need your help on this. 7 people can't do this alone. But we have 15,000 students and thousands of parents. And when those parents start talking, they're going to start listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Mrs. Hazel?
I just like to say we take public comments very seriously. I've been on that side of the table, and I understand how important it is for all the parents to feel safe with their children at school. And while the answers are probably put on the website, which you can go look for, if you don't feel like your problems are being addressed, please contact a board member, because your problems are important to us. I just want to thank the parents that are contributing to your children's education and helping them succeed in the classroom. We couldn't do our jobs without you, and I don't believe that you guys get enough recognition for all that you guys do. And I just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mrs. Hazel. Mr. Brown?
As indicated by Mr. Potts, Mrs. Beecham, and Mr. Palmer, many of the laws that are on the books as far as the state is concerned hampers what we can do as board members in terms of keeping our schools safe. But I will assure you that we will continue to try to find ways to make our schools safe. Just like you, every night I think about our schools and the kids, because I have nieces and nephews and cousins that are attending the schools, and I'm as concerned as you are. But the thing that I want to emphasize most is that we are not going to give up. We hear you. We'll review these as has been indicated and see what we can do to move forward to make our schools safer. One of the things that I like most happened today at the retired educators luncheon. We had 2 students, twins, who were former students of Wacomico County Schools, came and spoke about their pathways through school. They started kindergarten here, went through the high school, and graduated, went on to college, but came back to finish their college career at Salisbury University. And the one thing they indicated is that the thing that motivated them, the thing that kept them going, were the teachers they had on the way up, and they wanted to come back and give back to their community because they realized the value of an education. They did a super job, and I'm very certain that the teachers that they mentioned, and each one of them, believe it or not, they knew every teacher that had made a difference to them from kindergarten on, and I thought that was very, very interesting. These two young ladies also indicate that there are many students in our school system just like that. So I want to encourage all the parents, all the students, and all the school staff to continue to work with all those students who want to make a difference in our school system, want to make a difference in their communities, because they said they could have gotten jobs other places, but they came back and they're teaching here. And as Mrs. York indicated, one is teaching at Bennett Middle and one is at Shipman. Finally, every meeting, I thoroughly sit here and enjoy listening to our student reps. The things that are going on in these schools outside of the box are just amazing. You know, of course, you can tell by the color of my hair. When I was in school, it was many years ago, and none of those kinds of things were going on. But what these students are doing now in our schools, I'm really, really pleased with, and they're to be commended. Not only them, but their parents and the staff and the administration. So I want to encourage them to keep up the good work, keep reporting the good things that they're doing. One last thing I want to say is that earlier in the day it was mentioned that we have the new Purdue Hinton Junior Chief Center. That's a fantastic place. I had an opportunity to go there with some of the other board members when they had their opening day, and it's just super. So if you get an opportunity, go out there and just visit the facility. It's really an asset to Wycomico County, and it's going to serve a number of students, not only in Wycomico County, but also in Worcester, Somerset, and even the lower Delaware and Virginia students will get an opportunity to do that. But it's a gem that we have here, and we're hoping that more things can come this way. Thank you. And last thing, though, I really wanted to wish everybody a healthy and happy Thanksgiving holiday.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. So one event I want to highlight that I attended in the last month was the CTE dinner. And Mr. Ashby, who directs CTE, went through a great presentation. There are some really great things going on at CTE. A lot of things, a lot of students benefiting from those programs. The only issue I see there is we need to expand so we can have more programs there. But that was a huge highlight for me during the month. When it comes to school safety and the school violence and the violence in the community, there's 7 of us on this side of the table as board members, but we're all on the same side of the table with you. I have a daughter-in-law that's a teacher in the system and 2 grandsons in the system. And there's not a day or a night I don't worry about what's going to happen in those schools. So it's a personal thing for all of us. The discipline and school safety has been our priority since the inception of this board's term. We appreciate your comments on those issues tonight.